The weekend up until Sunday seemed to go pretty smoothly for us. The car was pretty quick out of the truck. We only had to do sort of some minor adjustments in practice, and then obviously making the shootout was a pretty big deal for us.
Not bad. Not bad effort by you. How did it feel making the shootout?
Oh, look, to be honest, I was pretty rapt to make the shootout. You know, that's been a bit of a childhood dream of mine. And probably coming into the weekend, I thought that if we got it all together, that maybe it was possible, but probably didn't want to think that it was possible, to be honest. And then the way that Thursday went for us, and then Friday, you know, we'd been sort of quick in every practice session. So I thought it was definitely a possibility for us.
Yeah, so you never at all thought I might just hand the reins over to Taz for this one lap shootout. You ever think that at all?
No.
You weren't thinking about me?
No.
My whole practice sessions, all I was thinking about was I better just get this car set up for Moff so that he's happy for the shootout, and then you don't even pay me by
Well, you see, that's where a good co-driver comes into it. That's just the co-driver mentality that we need.
That's it.
Up until the race, everything had sort of been pretty smooth for us. And then about, 30 laps in it, all, you know what, hit the fan. The first one probably was, definitely wasn't your fault. Yeah. Little Cammy Waters just sort of eased you off the road there into turn 2. And we were able to sort of recover reasonably out of all that. But what happened the second time you ended up in there?
Both times I never thought that it was going to be race ending crash. I was in there, but I just thought, no dramas, I'll just reverse her out and press on, which I did. How were you feeling in the pits there when you were watching that?
The first one was obviously a bit disappointing because, clearly you got assisted in there, and then the second one with the track breaking up, caught plenty of other guys out as well. So, I probably thought at that point in the day that it was going to be a pretty long afternoon for us, but then the red flag came out, and that definitely helped us because, the amount of work the guys had to do on the car to sort of get it back into a reasonable condition was unreal. And for me, that was pretty cool to see the guys. They worked flat out after that, in that red flag period to try and, patch it all up. They never gave up on it. And I guess that's probably how we treated the rest of the race as well. We never gave up on it. And I don't know what you were thinking in the red flag, but I sort of thought that it was our chance to get back in the race. But, in all the mayhem, we didn't go down a lap, which was obviously really important.
I couldn't believe we were still on the lead lap, to be honest.
And, I just tried to treat the rest of the afternoon as a 100-lap race, and I knew that if we could get through those 100 laps without making another mistake, which in itself was hard enough, the way the track was, and with the repairs to turn 2, it was sketchy out there. I guess the race did sort of unfold that it was the people that made the least amount of mistakes that ended up at the front of the field, and I'm happy to say that we were two of those blokes that were at the front of the field.
Least amount of mistakes.
Well, maybe from like lap 60 onwards.
When I wasn't in the car.
And then I was just going as hard as I could those last sort of 10 laps because I didn't know...
The Moffat way.
Well, I didn't know if anybody else was coming from behind, and Jamie and Chaz had sort of checked out a bit on us, but there was still a question mark on fuel on Jamie's car, and we were good to go. And those last 10 laps, I guess that's what it all comes down to, going as hard as you can at Bathurst, and we were in a podium position, and the way it all unfolded, we ended up P2, which is just, for everything we came throughout the day, just unbelievable, really.